back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Team Alpha Male's top-ranked featherweight Josh Emmett has revealed that another top-ranked featherweight Brian Ortega has turned down a fight with him to main event UFC Orlando. Holy smokes, I thought David Branch versus Yoel Romero was the main event of that card, but it's looking like they were trying to have T-City Brian Ortega versus Josh Emmett as the main event, which is still somewhat questionable to me. To me, Yoel Romero versus David Branch is easily the main event over Brian Ortega versus Josh Emmett, but it is what it is. I mean, this is what Josh Emmett is saying, and if it is true, I mean, Brian Ortega does have a reason to turn down this fight. We'll get into a couple of those. Josh Emmett, some of you might even be thinking, who the fuck is that guy? Because Josh Emmett was an unranked featherweight coming into his fight with Ricardo Lamas that he took on short notice. Now, if you remember, Ricardo Lamas was originally scheduled to face Jose Aldo at UFC on Fox, Robbie Lawler versus Rafael Dos Anjos. But whenever Frankie Edgar broke his arm and he was going to be fighting Max Holloway for the title, Jose Aldo stepped into that fight. So whenever Jose Aldo stepped out of his fight versus Ricardo Lamas to take the title shot, Josh Emmett stepped in for Jose Aldo. You staying with me? And lo, you know, it was an upset. He was unranked, took the fight versus top-ranked Ricardo Lamas and got a big upset knockout. Knocked out Ricardo Lamas and immediately shot to the top 5 or top 10 of the featherweight division. Now, that is, to my knowledge, the only ranked opponent Josh Emmett has faced, as he was unranked coming into the Ricardo Lamas fight. But now he's wanting to fight another top contender and maybe fast-track his way to a title shot. But Brian Ortega's T-City is saying, yeah, nah, just not right now. And he's got reason. Brian Ortega's coming off of a great performance over Cub Swanson, and I believe Brian Ortega also only has one fight left in his contract, if I'm not mistaken. I think that news came out after he fought Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson, we know he might be becoming a free agent. That was the last fight on Cub Swanson's contract. Main event versus Brian Ortega, and Brian Ortega choked out Cub Swanson in that fight. So now Brian Ortega could be getting a title shot off of that performance, if not for Frankie Edgar fighting Max Holloway at UFC 222, which is scheduled. But since that fight is scheduled sooner rather than later, since Frankie Edgar is coming back with that broken arm sooner rather than later, Brian Ortega could easily just wait for UFC 222 and fight the winner possibly of Max Holloway versus Frankie Edgar. Now, if he isn't going to fight the winner of Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar, Josh Emmett would be a good fight for him. But it's looking like that's not the fight that makes sense for his team. We haven't heard anything from Brian Ortega on this matter yet. This news just broke today with BJ Penn, I believe. There's a Chris Taylor tweeted breaking. Josh Emmett 12's BJ Penn Radio, yeah, that's where it was. That he was offered a fight with Brian Ortega to headline UFC on Fox in Orlando, but unfortunately T-City declined the bout. Full story coming to bjpenn.com soon. So if you want to check out the full story, that's where I'm at right now, bjpenn.com. Check it out. And at the bottom, this is what Josh Emmett had to say on the matter. He said, I just got some bad news. Like 30 minutes ago, the UFC was actually putting a fight together with Brian Ortega. I was supposed to fight. We were going to headline a fight on a huge card, and he will not fight me. He turned it down. He flat out said he will not fight me. I have no idea the reason. He just will not fight me. We were going to headline the UFC Orlando card main event on Fox, and as you can imagine, Josh Emmett, who was just relatively unknown, getting offered a headline event, being pretty upset when his opponent declines the headlining event, because Josh Emmett, if he doesn't get another opponent with the momentum of a Brian Ortega, he might not get another opportunity to headline event for a while. Josh Emmett, both of these guys have a lot of momentum, which might be why they're placed in the headline over a Yoel Romero David Branch, which is just a super fight to me. Not a super fight in the sense of like title versus title, but I mean in the middleweight division, that's two of the top contenders, David Branch, Yoel Romero. I already thought that was the main event. So if this fight was added to that card, it would have been stacked, but I can understand why Brian Ortega is not taking a fight with Josh Emmett. Brian Ortega could be getting a title shot coming up soon, and that's a huge opportunity. So as big of an opportunity as this main event in Orlando would be for Josh Emmett, Brian Ortega has an even bigger opportunity if he doesn't take this fight, perhaps. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think about this in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da.
It's the motherfucking DO double G.